think, you know, coming into the season, expectations were really low for us, and collectively as a unit, we made a lot of goals. We wanted to make the playoffs. We wanted to compete in the playoffs, and we felt like it was going to be a learning process. We went through a lot of tough losses throughout the regular season. We went through some tough losses in the playoffs, and all in all, I think, you know, we competed. We put our best foot forward, and we showed that, you know, we're good. We're a good team, but we also showed that we got a little ways to go to become an elite team, and make that jump from, you know, Western semis to a Western Conference championship.
Yeah, like he said, I think, you know, we came into the season saying it's a process, and we had growing pains, but you know, I think our team did a great job of just keeping our heads down and just continuing to work and stand together through the tough times early in the season, and just continuing to grow. You know, we find ourselves, you know, in position to make the playoffs, and we do what we got to do to get in the playoffs, win a series, get to the second round, and had the opportunity to play against the best team in the league this season. So I think the experience that we got was great. You know, regardless of what other people expected, I think what we were able to do is reassure ourselves that the foundation that we built this year is the right thing. You know, we did it the right way, and that's what allowed us to be in this position. So we got to continue to work and continue to, you know, grow that same thing, and then do the same things that we have been doing all season long, and try to continue it going forward.
Mike Richmond, the Oregonian, again for both you guys. Is it too early to be able to appreciate the way you guys played against the Warriors in this series?
I think we competed. I think the games are very competitive. Came down to last couple of possessions in the last two games. Steph hit some big shots tonight. He hit some big shots last game, but starting with game two, I think we really, you know, began to pick it up, and we began to kind of figure out, you know, how to execute down the stretch, you know, how to get stops down the stretch, and you know, we competed hard, but it wasn't good enough. We lost 4-1, so there's no, you know, trophies for competing and losing. So we got to move forward and figure out ways to get better for next year.
Yeah, I thought, like you said, we lost 4-1, but you know, we had control of game two for 3.5 quarters. They executed better than us down the stretch and got that win. You know, we win game three. Game four, we got a 3-point lead under a minute. You know, all we need is a stop and a score. They score, get a stop, and then they score. So tonight we were in position to win the game again. So I think we should be proud of the way that we pushed them. You know, because it could have easily been a 7-game series. You know, if the ball goes this way instead of that way in a couple of these games. But you also gotta take your hat off to them and give them credit. You know, they did what championship teams do. You know, when it was time to win games, they did things a little bit better than we did in situations where, you know, it made a difference in win or loss. And you know, from those are the things that we gotta grow from. You know, we gotta remember these times and remember to, you know, executing down the stretch and how important, you know, one rebound can end up being. You know, and the growth part is the biggest thing for us. And I think we can not only grow a lot from this entire season, but really from this series.
Casey Oldall, Trailblazers.com. For both of you, do you guys at all feel like this playoff run has been somewhat of a microcosm of your regular season, in that people kind of didn't expect you guys to do a whole lot, and then you ended up at least moving on, even if it wasn't exactly what you wanted? And two, is there anything about Paul Allen's speech that he gave to you guys post-game that you would be willing to share?
Yeah, in terms of, I'm not going to share that, but in terms of the microcosm from, you know, the season, no expectations, you know, coming in, making the playoffs, competing in the Clipper series, being down 0-2, having control of game three, then CP goes down, then Blake goes down, then we end up, you know, becoming favorites all of a sudden, get out of that series, and, you know, as we're getting ready to get out of the Clippers series, they're already talking about the Warriors in the finals. So I think ESPN even made a mistake of already advancing them to the Western Conference Championship before our series was even over with the Clippers. But We competed. We went out there and we put our best foot forward. And obviously, we got a ways to go before we're a finished product. We can all get better individually and collectively as a unit, and I think we will. And there's no excuses. We competed, but we're not satisfied with losing 4-1, even if the games were close. I don't think we went into this playoffs like let's get the gentleman's sweep like as a goal. Like that's not how we approached it.
Kevin Jones, KMBR. Can anyone beat the Warriors this season, guys? It feels like you guys just played so well, and can anyone beat them in the fourth?
I mean, it's the NBA, so anybody can be beat. You know, we pushed. I think we pushed them to the limit. You know what I mean? Like I said, these past 4 games could have gone our way. You know what I mean? We were right there. So I'm pretty sure that somebody can get it done, but it won't be easy. I think that's what they showed in this series, and even in the series against the Rockets, is that they're a team that find a way. They know what works for them. They defend well. They play great team defense. They pass the ball really well. They screen well. They're a really good group. They play great team basketball on both ends of the floor, and they have really good players doing it. So that's tough to play against, and it's really, really tough to beat. But there's still some really good teams competing in the playoffs. I think OKC has pushed them to the limit during the regular season. I think they can. So the Spurs as well. So I mean, you got a lot of good teams, and it's going to take a lot to get it done. But of course, it's possible.
Danny LaRue, The Athletic, this is for either one of you. You guys have had a really successful season, especially compared to expectations. What do you think that says, and what you guys did this year says to the free agents and all the people that are around the league in terms of potentially coming to Portland?
I mean, I think it says that it's something. We've built something that would be fun to be a part of. It's not a selfish guy in our group. We got here off working hard and being together. And, since I've been in the league, I haven't been around a team that I've spent this much time around and had this much fun with from top to bottom. Even our rookies, we got relationships with those guys like we've been knowing them. So, I don't think that's common around the league, where there's no jealousy, and guys have friendships, and we enjoy being around each other, not trying to one-up each other. I think our culture that we've established this season is something that guys will want to be a part of.
Damian, here on the right side. I saw you and staff was hugging and talking to each other after the game. What do you guys two say to each other?
He just, he said that, we played well, we played hard. And I told him that, he deserved to be MVP. It was well deserved, and there's been a lot of talk about, if he played in this time and all this stuff. And I told him that it was, it didn't matter. As a player that plays against him, you respect it and you let him know that he deserved to be the MVP again. And that was pretty much it.